Hey guys, it's Caleb here with Roger.
Yep, what's up, guys?
We're open late.
This is us.
We're doing something a little different today. As you can probably tell, you can't see our lovely faces. We're kind of trying a little podcast thing here. We love talking some NBA basketball, so we thought we'd just do a little podcast here, talking about some of our thoughts on some topics going on. Roger, you want to tell them
Yeah,
kind
let
of what
me.
we're going to talk
Yeah, I
about
want
today?
to. Yeah, let me kind of start off. Thinking a lot lately, and I kind of brought to your attention the other day. Giannis Antetokounmpo for the Bucks, who plays for the Bucks. My opinion on him is becoming like he is the greatest regular season player of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time. Better than LeBron. I mean, you can name whoever. I mean, in my opinion, he's leading the Bucks. Now it might have changed, but he's leading the Bucks to a 70 win pace.
Yeah. Before
the correct now, which I think they're down to like a 69 or 68 win pace.
Yeah.
But it's just I've almost kind of started to get the feeling with the 76ers as well, which we'll talk about later. It's almost like, okay, well, when are you going to start making the finals? And it's almost kind of relating to, I don't know if you've ever heard of the talk of Peyton Manning as the greatest regular season quarterback of all time, but in the playoffs and leading up to the biggest moments, it's not like he shrunk, but it's just
he wasn't Tom Brady.
Correct.
And then he finally got the ghost off that when he won the Super Bowl against New Orleans, and then he won that one with Denver.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of what I agree with you a little bit. I think Giannis is definitely got to get over the hump, but he's still pretty young.
Yeah, you're right. Which I thought about that earlier too. It's like he's only 25, 25 years old, and for a 25-year-old in his fifth or sixth year playing in the league, I want to say, to say that you got stopped by Kawhi Leonard isn't a negative. I mean, last year in the playoffs when he the only thing that's sad is they were up 2-0, man. I mean, they were up 2-0 in Game 3 in a double overtime game and lost 4 straight. There's got to be a moment where you sit here and think, and the year before that prior, he has been a big name in this league. Why are we not almost holding him to like...
All right, so we're going to pull up some stats here. Trying to kind of give you all an example of how, his playoff stats aren't matching up with his real stats. Playoff-wise, he is averaging for his career in the playoffs about 23 points a game, 10 rebounds a game, 5 assists, a steal, 2 blocks.
And, they kind of say a lot, stats and the eye test. And me and you have watched plenty of playoff basketball, and you literally see not only the intensity is different from playoff basketball compared to the regular season, but there's just also, they almost know how, like they literally have a game plan to go up against Giannis where it's literally pack the paint, and if you let Chris Middleton go for 40, we lose. So I mean, it's rough to see him not, and I'm not saying he doesn't play bad in the playoffs, but it's more like it goes from great to I'll take it down one notch.
Yeah,
I mean,
and also,
granted, he had Kawhi Leonard on him. So.
He did, and also granted that taking these stats into account, there is the 1 year in 2014-15, he was only 20 years old. He averaged like 12 points.
Oh wow, yeah.
If we take that out, he averaged about 25, 26. So,
true. Yeah.
But I mean, just compare that. Just for example, this year, averaging 30 points.
Yeah, it's insane. It's
14 rebounds, 6 assists. Go ahead.
If the COVID-19 didn't, take effect and stuff like that, for sure lock his MVP.
I don't know, man. Like,
I mean,
I'm still. I think LeBron. I know you people will bring up the example. He's got Anthony Davis now,
that is true.
but my God, man,
He's been unbelievable.
he has been unbelievable. He's brought his defense back up
And
to
what?
another level.
And another thing about the whole LeBron thing, it's not like they have a half-game lead in the West. They have a 4-game lead against now. I think is it the Clippers now? I have to look that up. I want to say it's the Clippers now who are in second, but they have a 4-game lead, and it's not like they're barely winning. So they've clearly shown that they are the team in the West, in my opinion, from watching them. And but I'm a big LeBron fan, and I'm a Giannis fan. But I mean, it's just so tough. I mean, it's so tough. I mean, I think you could go either way, literally. And I can see the point where people say, okay, look, LeBron has Anthony Davis. I mean, and a bunch of role players. Who
you could also say though, Giannis is in the Eastern Conference, which, I mean, looking at the standings here, like, he's going up against the likes of second seed the Raptors with no Kawhi, which, granted, they had a very good season and kind of, their coach has really done a great job, and they got a bunch of really good role players, Van Fleet.
Oh yeah. And Siakam's a star now. I mean, let's admit he's a star now.
I'd say he's a star. He's not a superstar. He's a star.
Definitely.
But they definitely doesn't have the competition. LeBron, even with Anthony Davis, he's got to go through Paul George and Kawhi. Yeah. The Nuggets are never easy, especially when you're playing in Denver.
Harris, Jamal Murray. Who else is it? I mean, Luka Doncic.
Playing. I mean, Chris Paul.
Harden, Westbrook. Come on.
Harden and Westbrook, they're 6th seed, and that's the West. I mean, they'd be running rampant.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
So, I mean, going back to, MVP, I mean, I think it's kind of a toss-up right now.
It's hard to play. I know.
I think you'd agree with me that right now it's LeBron, Giannis, and no one else is close.
Yeah, correct. So, no doubt. And I don't know. Yeah, correct. There's only 2 people in the discussion for MVP this year. Luka early, that died off. He got hurt, so injury prone for a month or so. Westbrook had a crazy January. Sorry. Averaging like 32, 31. It was unbelievable. And I think they ended up leading the I think in like a 10-game pace or 11-game pace, they ended up losing like twice. So that's unbelievable. But you're correct. Yeah, LeBron, Giannis, you can go either way. Me personally, so I think if you're, I mean, listen, I'm going to try my best not to be biased. You have to go with Giannis. I mean, his numbers, he won MVP last year, and his numbers are better.
And like, it kind of goes back to what you're saying, best regular season player of all time.
True.
He shows out in the regular season. Yeah. I mean, we're both huge LeBron fans. We love LeBron, and, I'd say that, some people, MVP means a lot, but some people like LeBron, they're looking for that finals MVP.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right. I agree.
They may not try as hard. LeBron's been trying really hard in the regular season. But
yeah, you can tell by his
Giannis is on a mission, you can tell.
Oh, sure.
And we need to see more from him. We need to see him trust his teammates a little more. If they're packing the paint, throw it out to Chris Middleton, throw it out to Brook Lopez on the perimeter, and just think of a game plan. It also comes down to Coach Budenholzer needs to, come up with a game plan to where you're not relying just on Giannis,
one player,
because that's what screws him up every time. It's Giannis, and all right, well, let's just everybody around Giannis. So we're gonna kind of stay in the Eastern Conference.
This is going to be a really good topic now. Yeah, I mean, I've been a big. Let's shift gears here. I'm a big Ben Simmons fan. So let's talk about the 76ers.
Kind of disappointing this year.
The past 2 years. Maybe 3. It's really exhausting. my opinion, if I have to start anywhere, you kind of point the finger or point blame, which you don't want to do, but you have to. I mean, it's all about winning championships, and you have the talent like the 76ers have, and you're not producing, and your goal is getting to the second round and getting eliminated the past 2-3 years. So you have to point the finger at somebody, and it's got to be Brett Brown.
Really? So you're putting the blame on the coach over the players?
Yes. There's no fire in Brett Brown. There's no demanding. I don't want to say order, but there's no telling. There's no demanding from the head coach. There's no. It's. I mean, look. Let's just be honest. Embiid does what he wants. Seems like he's
out of shape at the time.
Correct. Yeah. Ben Simmons, who I really, really like his game. I think he's a really, really good player. Love watching him play. It's just at some point you have to make the defense think you're going to have a jump shot.
Mm-hmm. And that's crazy that they always talk about his jump shot. I mean, he's averaging like 59% from the field, but just because he lives in the paint, you know.
And it's kind of sad they almost kind of swap the players. If you watch him play, they have Embiid. I don't know, we have to look up the stats, but I wonder if he ended up. I wonder how many 3-point I wonder how many 3-point attempts he shoots. But they have. There's a lot of times Simmons lives in the paint, and they have Simmons out on the perimeter. I mean, excuse me, I had that backwards.
Embiid out on the perimeter.
Embiid on the perimeter.
Yeah, it looks like Embiid's throwing up about 4 threes a game.
Yeah. So
making one of 4. He
yeah.
He definitely hasn't had a good year of 3-pointers since he had in the past.
Correct. So I mean, you like Brett Brown?
I mean, I think NBA is special with coaches. I feel like coaches really aren't that important unless you're Greg Popovich type.
Oh yeah, true.
It's more players. It don't matter who LeBron's coach is.
Yeah. So you think the players make the coach?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I feel like now most of the NBA coaches' main role, I feel, is motivation, getting your players going. I definitely see that from Brett Brown.
Yeah, I don't see
a lot of times. You've watched probably more 76ers games than I have. It don't seem like they really respect him that much.
No. No.
Like they're just kind of he's just kind of there.
Yeah, true. So we'll kind of go a different direction then. You have a big decision to make. You get eliminated in the second round again. What do you do? You keep both stars, or do you go after Brett Brown, or do you actually?
My thought has kind of gone back and forth, but I mean, if I had to get rid of one, I'm getting rid of Embiid. I feel like Ben Simmons in today's NBA is a player you want to build around.
Correct.
Put shooters around him. Let him be the ball handler. Don't let him. His priority does not need to be to score.
Oh yeah.
Run the offense.
Yeah.
Get people open. Get shooters open.
Yep.
Get people open, cutting to the basket.
Mm-hmm. And Simmons, his back to the basket in the post he's a really good back to the post player.
And if you're getting these shooters going and hot, he'll have more opportunities. In the post.
No doubt. I completely agree.
Can't double him.
Embiid. You almost thought the year that Kawhi threw up the 20-footer.
The Hail Mary?
Yeah, the Hail Mary. The shot heard around the world.
Mm-hmm.
You see him backstage crying to his girlfriend. You almost thought that was kind of like oh, wow. Okay, watch out. Watch out now. This guy's going to.
He kind of got it.
This guy's going to blow. Yeah, correct. Yeah, this guy's going to blow the scene. And it
took Charles Barkley calling him fat on air
to motivate him.
Give an ounce of effort.
Oh yeah, and speaking of, 2 weeks later, all that changed when he's DMing Jimmy Butler all over Instagram saying, you could come over here to Miami and Embiid giving the googly eyes, or I mean, your priorities are kind of out of whack.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're like flirting with another team when you're trying to make the playoffs. I mean, you are 6th seed in the East.
Oh,
You got the Indiana Pacers
ahead of you.
Ahead of you. You got the Miami Heat ahead of you.
And I'm not joking on the Raptors. The Raptors have played great this year, but they don't have
They don't have a star. They're one of those teams that's going to do good in the regular season. Their true colors are going to come out in the playoffs.
They don't have almost go-to guys. Or what do you? I mean, they don't have
Siakam
talent.
Would be kind of a go-to guy, but he's still not there just yet.
Yeah, true.
You need a go-to guy on that team.
Yeah, I agree. My opinion, looking at it, Ben Simmons is the guy you build around. Mm-hmm. It's literally the modern-day Magic Johnson who can't shoot. Mm-hmm. Later on in Magic Johnson's career, he learned how to have a shot. Mm-hmm. Ben Simmons is the guy you build around. A lot of people disagree. Embiid, you almost could say Embiid probably has a lot more talent. He just doesn't footwork off the block. I mean, in the post,
it's like Hakeem Olajuwon.
He can kind of shoot the three. I mean, it almost get you. What Embiid are you getting? It
almost seems like you'd rather be a social media star and like hyping up the crowd than playing and keeping yourself in shape.
I agree, no doubt.
I mean,
gosh, I can talk about that topic.
And it's just also centers aren't that important. I'd rather trade Embiid and get a bunch of draft picks and shooters. So I mean,
I agree.
So let's say they make the playoffs, they get so it looks.
So if it just stops now, their first match would be Boston Celtics.
It would be the Celtics. So
that's interesting.
If
you're looking on paper, the 76ers, I told you this earlier. They by name have talent. They have guys. I mean, Richardson, he can literally go get his own shot. Mm-hmm. Tobias Harris, he doesn't really. He can shoot the three. Embiid's got talent. Ben Simmons, you let him run the point. I mean, it fits well on paper.
Right.
But there's no floor space.
No floor space whatsoever.
And I don't know. You know how I feel about the Celtics and stuff like that, and Jason Tatum, and that'd be another subject for another day. But
and that's the thing we talk about. When a lot of the media outlets like ESPN have been talking about, if the Celtics can be the ones to take out the Bucks, they don't have any size. I mean, you got Daniel Tice out there to stop Embiid or to stop Giannis. Now maybe then you could say, okay, let the big man have his. We're gonna have Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Kemba Walker go get theirs.
Yeah, true.
Maybe not so much Jaylen Brown, one of the most overpaid players in my opinion. I don't know why you spend that money on him. You can find a ton of that's for another day. But
true.
So say they play the Celtics. Celtics beat them in like 6 games. Where do you go from here? Do you do what I say and trade Embiid?
Yeah.
Also, I would trade Embiid and I would fire Brett Brown.
You'd do both.
Yeah.
Man.
Double whammy. I'd keep Elton just as the executive, but because he's made some decent decisions. But I'd
swap away both of them.
Get away Brett Brown. See Embiid.
Yeah, I would. Man, I'm not a fan of both. Brett Brown, I would get rid of. That's the first thing you should have done. And I'll be honest with you, I told you this before. I should have got rid of him last year.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
Then you're another step closer. Okay, now if it don't work now and you got a new head coach in there and Embiid and Simmons can't do it again, okay, then plus I don't know if we have. I mean, these two guys they really don't see eye to eye, do they? I mean, they've kind of had their who wants to shine, a little jealousy in the air. I mean,
that's kind of the words that Jimmy Butler had for him when he left. No one there wants to win. But you know who he still hangs out with a lot? He hangs out with Embiid.
Yeah.
How do you think that makes Ben Simmons feel? They said that Ben Simmons was kind of the one who got the most of the criticism from Jimmy Butler, that he don't want to win. He wants to be out in, L.A. with Kendall Jenner being a star. He not as serious about winning.
Yeah, true. And Embiid does have that kind of charisma where he knows, and he knows it. He knows it. He's like a social media.
Well, yeah, but Butler's talking about Simmons doing that, and which is kind of, you would think it's Embiid.
Well, yeah.
But I feel like Embiid and Butler wouldn't get along that well. But
yeah, true.
Something, there's obviously a connection there somewhere, but something needs to change.
I agree. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens too, because with this whole Orlando deal and everything, the NBA coming back, it's cool to see what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of the Orlando thing, what do you feel? I'll be honest with you. Avery Bradley losing, kind of opting out. He has his own personal reasons, which I am totally backing him up on.
Definitely. You want to see your kid, man.
Correct. So we're switching the topic. Avery Bradley. How does this affect the Lakers? You think?
Well, it's
because let's be honest. Out of the few role players they have, he is one of the most important players they have. With
perimeter defense.
Correct.
You've seen how he stood up against the Clippers games, throwing him on Lou Williams, throwing him on your best
Patrick
player.
Beverly. Yeah, easily.
Patrick Beverly. It don't take much to stop Patrick Beverly.
Yeah.
He's he was coming into a shooting stroke. He had a monster 3-point game against.
Yeah,
the
I think it went for like 24. Yeah, definitely.
He's a dog. We need as many dogs as you can get, man, especially against the Clippers. And just anytime you're taking minutes away from a player, and that's more minutes you're giving to Rondo. And I'm not the biggest fan.
You haven't wait. So you haven't heard of playoff Rondo, right?
When was that again? A few years ago.
Yeah. Okay. So he actually had some good playoff moments when him and AD were together about a year or two ago from the
that's a while ago. He's older. He's terrible. You cannot have him out there on defense. He is terrible on defense.
He's
all he does is assist time. I mean, I love me some Alex Caruso. I love Alex Caruso.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Defender. So let me hear your starting lineup for the Lakers. Avery Bradley was on the starting lineup. So who moves into the new rotation?
Caruso's earned it. He's been grinding on the bench. He's had his head down. He went up to the G League, proved himself. Great off the ball.
So KCP off the bench with Kuz and you have Rondo running point until LeBron gets back in.
Honestly, I would go Caruso starting at point. And then you'd have Danny Green, LeBron, AD, JaVale.
Yeah.
Then coming off the bench,
look, I think So look, you're gonna have
need a point guard.
You're gonna have to have Rondo run it for 5 minutes till LeBron gets a little rest.
Honestly, I feel like. I guess so.
Yeah,
you'd have to do Rondo. You'd have to do KCP or throw J.R. Smith, whoever they signed. We'll get into that in a minute. But,
man.
But probably for now, just for continuity, you'd want to put in someone who's been there. So Rondo, KCP, then you got Kuzma, Morris, and Dwight Howard as your backup unit.
Yeah. That's good.
Would you plug in KCP over?
Yeah, I kind of went a different route. My opinion, I think you have Caruso come off the bench. I agree. I kind of agree with you. The whole Rondo thing. He all he does and what he does really well is he likes to dribble air out of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, if you kind of want to minimize that situation, you have to have Caruso come off the bench. Let him run the point. I know this little stat came out about LeBron and Caruso. Their minutes together have actually been one of the best duos in the league the past 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, look, KCP in my opinion is actually still a good perimeter defender. He's 6'6". And he has improved on the 3 ball. He can shoot it. He's a little undersized, 6'5". We have to look it up. 6'5", 6'6".
For some reason, Frank Vogel loves putting him on small forwards.
Yeah, correct. If they meet the Clippers, which they will, and I think they will take care of them. You put KCP on Paul George because Paul George now plays the 2, but he's 6'9". I mean.
That's where you're going to start having some issues because definitely starting lineup, you're going to put Danny Green on Paul George and LeBron on Kawhi.
Yeah, well then who do you put KCP on? If they put KCP in the starting lineup,
it's like just throw him on Patrick Beverly.
Yeah,
then you got AD on. I don't even know who their starting lineup is right now.
Oh, you're talking about Montrezl
Harrell,
and then there's Zubac. Yeah. So
and there you go. I think that's. And then you could have Danny Green and LeBron swapping on. Kawhi and Paul keep LeBron and Kawhi as much as you can.
Oh, yeah.
Even AD could come in and switch out from him. AD can guard those guys.
Yeah, true.
As well.
It's tough. I mean, it definitely hurts the Lakers, if I'm being honest,
Definitely.
because that is literally
such an important position.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's out of the few dogs they had on the team, he was the main dog. Literally, because oh yeah, no doubt, and he plays hard defense. Now they did add another piece before the whole COVID thing.
Waiters Island.
That. And then they also added Morris, Markieff. Morris. Yeah, he's a dog, no doubt.
He's a dog. But he is such a dog, and he definitely can replace some of that dog mentality. We really just made some good pickups there, and with Avery going out, we're gonna have to make another pickup. From what all the media outlets are saying, and the different people like Woj, it's kind of a given that it's probably going to be JR because he already worked out for him kind of before all the COVID stuff started.
Yeah, true.
But there are definitely different options out there.
Correct. And I'm glad you kind of brought this up. We talked about this a little earlier. In my opinion, I mean, look, you get rid of a guy like Avery Bradley, or not get rid of. He kind of opted out. Yeah, lose. My opinion, you have to go after a guy of Amon Shumpert. He is. I mean, granted, we haven't seen him play in a while, but I mean, depending on how he looks and how his training goes, I mean, we watched him in Cleveland for 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. He was a great perimeter defender. Yeah, I mean, and he's tall. He's 6'6", 6'7", and he's so quick. Yeah, and he kind of improved on his three once he went to the Houston Rockets. He is a great 3-and-D guy. Now, you could say the same thing for J.R. Smith, but I almost feel like J.R. Smith is aged.
He's kind of slower.
I mean, it's weird. I mean, it's kind of sad to say. Like, when's the last time you saw J.R. Smith hit a 3-pointer that meant something? Was that like 2015, 2014? I mean, the finals. I mean,
last time he had meaningful minutes, he was forgetting the score.
Oh wow, yeah, you're right. How do you forget that?
Yeah, so not looking too hot. Definitely Shumpert is one. Kind of got a little scared because some rumors were starting to float around that Nick Young may be making a return.
Oh, I saw that.
Definitely don't like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure what he's doing lately. Yeah. Nothing. No offense to Nick Young. I mean, who knows? He probably plays pickup and stuff, but
yeah. But I think either way, J.R. Smith, Shumpert will be fine.
I agree.
I think we both have Lakers coming out of all this.
I do. Yeah. I have Lakers. Yeah. I have Lakers.
The Bucks coming out of the East.
I do. Yeah, Lakers Bucks is what I have in the NBA Finals, and I haven't sure what game. I just, I just feel like leading up to the NBA Finals, there's no way you don't. I mean, who is beating the Bucks? Who's beating? You can almost make arguments for the Lakers. Who could beat the Lakers? Because I mean, the Clippers. First off, they have 2 of the best 3-and-D guys in the league. Period. I mean, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. I don't know. I've always been a big believer in centers as defenders, shot blockers, and in my opinion, you add Anthony Davis to the lineup with JaVale McGee, and you add in Dwight Howard. I mean, just my opinion. You can't get to the rack. You can't get to the hoop. I mean, it's going to be fun to watch, no doubt.
Definitely, man. So, kind of our last topic for the day. We want to do just something a little fun.
Something a little different.
Nothing really nothing that's going on, but we were talking kind of about some players that.
Don't get appreciated.
And don't. We feel like are kind of underrated. So you had one on your mind that you were wanting to talk about?
I did. Okay. There's probably a couple of players you probably can think of off the top of your head instantly. Yeah. Underrated player, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's going to shock you or not, but he literally
shocked me.
Yeah, I hear you. They're the 2nd seed in the East. It's got to be Pascal Siakam.
You think that he's underrated?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I hear enough of the Raptors being the 2nd seed in the East before the year started.
Mm-hmm.
I had the Raptors at like 7th seed.
Yeah.
Because we watched him in the previous finals with Kawhi, and Siakam was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
But now he stepped it up even more. And majority of is him to blame, which is a good thing. I mean, meaning of it's literally him.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, you could give some credit to Kyle Lowry.
But it definitely is mostly Siakam.
Man, it's.
And Nick Nurse has done a great job.
Oh, no doubt. He's been unbelievable. Unbelievable. In my opinion, I don't know if I hear enough of Pascal Siakam. I mean, he's.
No, he could definitely be talked about more.
I think so. I think so.
When you're left in the shadow of Kawhi Leonard when he leaves.
True. Okay.
It kind of leaves a big shadow, and he's still got to work to.
You're right. We haven't seen enough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get it
now because a lot of teams aren't going to be in Orlando, and they're going to be more focused on the teams
really
over there.
Correct. Yeah, I'm really interested to see. Okay, now it almost. I hate to take that spot from Kyle Lowry. In my opinion, look, you have to give the team to Pascal Siakam. So look, I want to see what happens now in the playoffs because now you need to know, hey, look, it's my team.
Definitely,
it's our team. If you think of Kyle Lowry as well.
Mm-hmm.
So let's. I'm curious to see what they do. So
I mean, for sure.
Let me hear yours.
So this may or may not shock people. He kind of is getting a little more recognition. I feel like he needs a lot more. C to the P to the 3.
Chris Paul.
Okay, listen.
Wait, we're talking about the 36-year-old.
36-year-old Chris Paul.
36-year-old underrated.
Same draft class as
Are you talking about the King, LeBron James? Oh,
he's 36 years old. A couple years after the famous draft class with LeBron and Melo and all them. But
where did he go to college?
Wake Forest.
Chris.
Forest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my God, man.
I'll give you that. I mean, it's when he got traded to OKC, you almost just like all you kept hearing was, okay, we got to get him out. We got to get him out.
Yeah, trying to get out. Rumors he was trying to force a trade to the Heat. Everyone's like, oh well, it's just going to be CP3 like training the young kids like Shea,
and then he'll be gone.
Yeah, and then he'll be gone, and who cares? They're going to be lottery. 40-24.
That's unbelievable. I mean, where are they at?
They are the 5th seed.
Wow.
So right now they would be playing the
Utah Jazz.
Which, honestly, I would go Thunder.
Oh, no doubt. They would win
Thunder.
it. Because someone just got updated on surgery for the Utah Jazz. Who just got Bogdanovich.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Joe Ingles is kind of iffy on if he's going there, too.
Wow.
So things aren't looking too hot over in Utah. But definitely CP3, he was really much maligned over in the Clippers. Their little chemistry issue with him and Blake. DeAndre and Blake.
Yeah, and it's funny, there's a podcast that we kind of listened to where CP3 kind of admitted, the podcast with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. Chris Paul kind of admitted, he's like, me and Blake Griffin kind of had our past, but I think I realized now after being with 2 different teams and kept moving on, it's like I almost felt like I underappreciated him. So.
Yeah, and that's really awesome, and that he's realized that because over in OKC he's averaging 18, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 49 from the field, 36 from 3, 90 from free throw line.
That's really good. It's really good.
And it's just insane what he's doing.
Look at that. It's actually not that far from 50, 40, 90.
Yeah. he's been very efficient.
And he's a 36-year-old.
36-year-old. I mean, okay, 18 points.
That's okay. I mean, he's mainly he's an assist guy. So I mean, he's not going out there trying to get buckets.
Yeah. He's not there to like.
Which I'll give you this. Start of the season, him going to OKC as no other guy on the team that could kind of give him buckets and
Shea Gilgeous though is.
Oh, he stepped up.
He
no
gives
doubt.
Some buckets.
No doubt.
Some buckets.
No doubt. I can I be honest with you? I had them missing the playoffs.
Me too.
Who
thought they were gonna do this stuff?
I didn't think. So let's be honest. I think my Pascal Siakam and Chris Paul are probably one of the 2 guys you think of first. I did think Chris Paul. The reason why I didn't go with him is because, like I just said when you first said it, I was like, okay, he's 36-year-old. I mean, like, he's. I guess you can say he's underrated. I get it. I mean, depending on what route you go.
Because he's been one of the top players for a long time, but he is kind of the downslope, and he was getting a lot of heat for Clippers.
Oh, no doubt. I give you credit though. That was a good one.
And definitely with the Rockets too was not a stuff with him and Harden were not that great towards the end.
Oh yeah, no doubt. They definitely had issues
for sure, man. So
Harden really doesn't. Harden loves the spotlight.
Yeah. He is, and he's not always the most willing guy to share it.
So, Caleb, this is actually really fun. Mm-hmm. Great idea. So we're going to try to do, like, all of our NBA topics and stuff. We're going to have to do it in a podcast form. Mm-hmm. It's actually been really fun. We have a bunch of ideas, a bunch of topics we kind of want to get to. And also on our videos, we have a bunch of ideas coming really, really, really soon. It's going to be a lot of fun. Caleb, you have...
Yeah, I just want to ask y'all to do a huge favor, like, comment, and subscribe for us. We're here all night. So.
We're open late.